Jonathan will sit up to try to get the underhook on me like this. Okay? Sometimes he's gonna try to get the underhook and he still get the knee shield. Sit up. Like he still get the knee shield because he knows when you take the knee shield out, if I get the underhook, it's easier for me to apply my shoulder and my chest on his chest, and then I'll be on top of him. Okay? So this angle here. So let's say Jonathan sit up and take the knee shield out to underhook. So it's easy for me to underhook his arm. I need to underhook his arm here the whole time. It's very important, okay? Every time you try to underhook you underhook him and bring his shoulder close to your chest. So that way it's harder for him to get the underhook again. I cannot get the underhook and stay like this with my chest away from his shoulder. So he's gonna underhook again. So I underhook, grab his shoulder and put my chest on his shoulder. So now he can no longer get the underhook, okay? Right now, take advantage that his arm is on the floor, his hand's on the floor. So there's no protection on his neck. So I go with my hand around his head and I'll grab his chin, okay, right here, as a chin strap. Once I do that, I apply the weight of my rib against his face, like this, okay? Putting my opponent on the floor. So notice that I'm not going this way, okay? Because if I do that, he's gonna go on top and then he's gonna end up passing my guard, okay? That's not a good position for me to be, all right? So when you sit up, Jones. I got the underhook, bring his shoulder close to my chest, and I'll grab his chin. Now I want to push the Jonathan on this direction here, okay? That way, using my toes on the mat, pushing him towards the floor, having my rib against his face. And I still have the chin strap, see? Right here. Now I use my kneecap against his groin right here, okay? It's not on the floor. So go, Jones. So I go step 1, step 2, step 3, I push him down. Now I use my kneecap on his groin, so I push his groin down and take the leg out. So I'm pushing with my kneecap, my left kneecap, and pulling out. So now I'm here. The good thing of this position, if Jonathan's explode and try to come up, I'm gonna start like having him with my hooks, okay, over my hooks, and I can sweep him back, placing him back on the floor. And now I'll be flatting on the floor like this. I can still controlling his chin, facing towards him here, using my rib against his rib, okay, on top of him. Now I bring my elbow towards my rib. Get a nice guillotine neck crank, okay? I go like this, right? So I'm here, using the weight of my rib against his rib, and then start bringing this way. This position will choke him. It's not a neck crank, actually. It looks like a neck crank, but he's gonna feel the choke, all right? If my opponent underhook me, and he have the knee shield still, okay, like this, I'll underhook his arm here, control. I always have, sit up, Jones. I'm always gonna find this space here, okay? Now I'm gonna put my elbow in the front of his thigh, and now I bring my elbow towards my hips. So my elbow goes like this, okay, towards my hips. So I go 1 and then 2. So now he has no longer the knee shield. So I trap his head, okay, his chin, push him towards his back, okay, like this, using the weight of my rib against his face. Now I push my kneecap on his groin. All right, tiptoes on the mat, so in case he tries to come up, I will be ready to counter. Okay, 2 things I can do. I can push him and take my leg out. Now I pass his guard and then face towards him. I don't like to scissor my legs. I keep like this. Okay, now once I'm turning, I bring my elbow towards my rib until I tap. Okay, it's very powerful technique. Okay, again, knee shield, sit up, I go 1, 2, and then 3. Once I grab, push him towards his back, use my rib against his face, keep holding the chin strap. Right, I'm still holding his chin right here. Okay, I got the underhook, still holding behind his shoulder. Right, now my kneecap, okay, goes on his bottom groin right here and start pushing out. Another thing I can do, if I feel like it's hard for me to push my leg out, I mount to him. Putting my kneecaps on the floor. Okay, one each side, even if he's strapping my legs still. Now what I do, I cannot keep my hand here. Because Jonathan's have the other arm free, he's gonna start fighting to clean my hand. Okay, so once I start mounting on him, okay, I will open my hand between his chest and my chest, right here. And I'll smash and I'll make like a sandwich. My chest will be on top, my hand will be between my chest and his chest. Okay? So as soon as I get here, I open my hand, I put my hand, my chest right on top of my hand right here, mount, and then I'm here. Now Jonathan cannot control my fingers. You see, if I'm holding like this, it's gonna control. So if I flap my chest on top of my hand, there's no way he's gonna control. Now I'm gonna start moving my head in the same line of his hip, of his vertebra, okay, of his neck, okay, right here. And now I start squeezing, tap him out. So always squeezing my lat, okay, and then I have my head in the same direction, same line of his back, okay, of his neck. So if my head was here, I gotta line my head in the same direction of his neck, okay. So if I'm here, see when I mount, I was here, okay. I gotta do this. Okay, I gotta align, and that way he's gonna feel even more the choke. So I'm able to put the weight on his face and tap him out. I like to keep the underhook. Okay? Worst case scenario, not worst case scenario, but if you feel like you cannot tap him with one hand, what you gotta do is to pass this hand right here. Okay, and grab. Now you start controlling with both hands. You can grab just the neck here, okay? Or you can grab head and arm, which is a great way for you to choke him as well, okay? And what I like to do with my legs is to lock like this, okay? Here, while I'm choking, okay? I'll keep my forehead on the floor so that way I can keep the pressure on the guillotine, all right? I show the guillotine in the other instructional as well. Pretty similar with that, and I explained that as well. So your forehead is always on the floor, and then you're gonna melt it on top of him. Okay, and then you start like closing your lat. Okay, here, like squeezing your lat and choke him out. When you try to bridge and choke him, it's really easy for him to escape. Okay? Sometimes I see people doing this. Jonathan's underhook. I get the underhook. Blake, take the knee shield out, control his chin, push. Now I cover my hand on my chest, okay? My chest over my hand. I start pushing his groin, mount. So I'm here, melted. And then look, even if I didn't mount yet, I still he's still trapping my leg. I can still choke him, okay? I bring my elbow towards my rib, and at the same time I sink my hand even more inside, okay? So a lot of times when people, they get here, and especially when they link the hands together, they try to like do this, like bridge, while they're doing the guillotine. I'm not doing that because I don't want to hurt Jonathan, but most of the time people escape, like they can escape their head. If I go here, then I start like bridging up like this, his head can pop out, okay? I like to keep my head on the floor, so that way it's super, super hard, super tough, and very hard for him to get the head out, okay? So you can get the guillotine, side control guillotine, neck crank, or going to mount and guillotine him. If he turns on top of you, you can sweep him back using the hooks, okay? So you got the underhook here. I go step one, step two, grab, push, okay? So I have my knee on his groin. He's gonna, let's say he's gonna start coming up. Coming up, Jonathan. Here, come up, come up, come up. I use my hook, look, to bring him back, take my leg out, and I'll choke him out. I'm holding here. You can hold the chin as a chin strap, or you can hold like this. Okay, having your hand between your chest and his chest. The great thing of this grip, it's hard for him to fight with the free hand. If I grab here, he's gonna fight with the free hand, okay? if I go here, there's no chance for him to fight with the free hand. So I just go over like that, okay? So in this one, we sweep him back in case he came up, or he come up, okay? In case he comes up. So he's gonna come up. So I go 1, 2, 3, push. I'm trying to pass it, come up, Jones. I sweep him back, and then go back here. So I keep torquing him, keep with the underhook, and have a nice hook sweep, okay? Force him to go back. But let's say worst case scenario, Jones will come up. I got right here, I turn, and Jones came up, and I try to sweep, but he's still on top of me. Close the guard, okay? Close the guard, escape your hips, okay? And make sure his forehead's on the floor. Now you're gonna bring his head towards his thigh, and then you choke him right here with one hand, or you grab your hand here, okay? Control, and then bridge, okay? And when you bridge, you're like sinking his head towards his thigh, okay? My goal is to turn around, Jones. My goal is to put my forearm against my thigh, and then he's gonna tap. So I wanna put this forearm here against this thigh, okay? That's the way to choke him, all right? So it's not like just doing this. A lot of times people get the guillotine here, they just bridge, and his head will pop out. So no, your goal is to turn sideways, touch his forehead on the floor, and bring your forearm against your thigh, and hold, he's gonna tap. So right now I'm holding just the head right here, okay? I'm doing like this. When I open my hand, I keep my hand against my chest and against his chest, so he doesn't fight with the grips, or I can lock like this, I can close. I go like as a fist, and then I choke him like that, all right? Another way you can choke him here is applying the forearm over his shoulder, and then squeeze your forearm against your thigh. It's the same concept. This forearm here will block him, okay? And a lot of times when you choke him like this, he's gonna try to hug your shoulder. Hug my shoulder like this, hug it. He's gonna hug your shoulder, he's gonna try to choke you using the weight of your shoulder on your neck, okay? So when you do this, try to go, you avoid that, plus you increase the leverage of your guillotine. But some people are not flexible doing that. I suggest you, once you fall here, to go over his arm and trap the arm as well, because that way he cannot hug your head, okay? So you skip the hips, put his forehead on the floor. Now you're gonna bring your forearm towards your thigh and wait. So you bring the forearm towards your thigh and just wait. He's gonna tap, okay? And make sure you squeeze your lat. Okay, it's very important to squeeze your lat. All right? One more time. He's gonna underhook, grab, push him forward, so now I'm on top. I go straight to mount. Okay, if I like, I can clear the mount. Here, look. Hook, open his legs apart, have the hooks, mount. Okay, align my head on towards his neck. Okay, same line. Now, squeeze my lat. Okay, this muscle. Very, very important. Okay? You can mount, you can go side control, get a neck crank, or if you come on top, you're sweeping back on hooks guard. Worst case scenario, if you stay on top, close the guard. But try to do it to be on top. Don't let him turn you. Okay? Stay on top as long as you can, because then you can pass the guard using this chin strap. It's a great way for you to finish your opponent, but also to pass the guard, to mount. Let's say if it doesn't tap, right, he's really strong, you're gonna end up in the side control, or you're gonna end up in a really good mount position, okay? You don't wanna be on bottom, because sometimes if you're on bottom, you try to choke him, and then let's say he doesn't tap, and then he escaped, and then you're gonna be on bottom, like with the close guard, which is not bad, but in tournament, this can be like 2 points for him, especially if he turn you like from half guard, okay? Other than that, if you don't compete, great. Just keep chasing the neck, keep chasing the guillotines, right? Keep chasing the chin strap. Remember that the detail of this technique is my elbow here, okay? Once he tries to underhook here, I underhook his arm, and then I go here. Okay, this is the detail of this technique. Around Jones. That's the main detail here. When he goes, I go 1. Look, my elbow here will push his leg out. And I keep my chest on his shoulder, not getting his neck. Okay, right here, I'm already with my hand here, see? Push him. Look, this is a tremendous pressure. You can tap him from here too. But I like to take my kneecap out. So that way, it's easier for me to mount and start applying the position, okay, and the finish. All right. One thing you can do here as well, when you get his neck, and you sit up, you go here, you grab his neck, and you push. You can also go for a knee cut. If you're flexible enough, your knee goes on the floor to the other side, and you start passing this way, like this, okay? And now when you pass, you're like already choking, okay? You can do that as well, all right? Just one more tip, one more time. There you go, it's like 1, block 2, 3, push. I go for the knee cut. Once I'm here, I pass, and now bring my elbow, okay, towards my rib, okay? And make sure you use your tiptoes on the mat to push. Push your weight and have your weight against his body right here. Okay, while you're choking. Don't keep your weight on your butt. Okay, keep your weight on him. Okay? Use your legs to push and take your kneecaps off the mat. Right? Don't seize your legs because I feel then your weight is gonna be too much in your butt. Some guys will be really strong and sit up. Let's say if I'm here, find someone stronger than me, he's gonna start escaping the hips, so then he's gonna end up on top. Okay? I don't like to scissor my legs. I like to be like this. I feel like this way, it's harder for him to sit up. Try to sit up, it's really hard for him to sit up. It's easier for me to control. Worst case scenario, he's gonna pop out his head, he's gonna escape, then I'll be in a nice side control. Okay? All right, so again, when you're practicing the techniques, they're like, I show you the same concept, but with different variations, okay? So you can pause, practice, watch, rewind, watch again, right? Take a look on the details, pay attention to the pressure of the techniques, tiptoes on the mat. When you get the chin strap, the difference of the chin strap and the sandwich grip, okay, as a guillotine, right? So you can work on all that. Make sure you have a strong underhook, cleaning the knee shield, using your elbow, okay? Getting the neck, so you can work on all that. Pay attention to all the details. And again, you can do like specific sparring where you're gonna control your partner here and fight, right? And now he's gonna try to escape and you try to be on top, okay? So go, Jones. It's gonna just fight and put his back on the floor. Look, he's trying to go for the deep half guard. Go, try to fight. I keep here, keep turning, keep putting pressure off my rib against the space. Go for a nice knee cut, and then I pass, and then I finish him. If you escape, reset. If you tap him, reset. If you mount, reset. So just try to work on that. You can do like 2-3 minutes, right? Couple rounds, maybe 3-4 rounds, so you can feel the technique. You can apply the new technique that you're learning towards your game, okay? So my goal here is to help you to go to the next level, okay? Even though this is like our fundamentals techniques, right? It's really important to know, but full of the details. You can find all the gems on the technique and all the concept. The idea is to teach you a great concept from each technique with all the details that you need in order to defeat your opponent and submit your opponent or control the situation. One more tip and one more technique from the chin strap, right? When you sit up and try to underhook it from the half guard right here, I'll underhook and use my elbow to take his leg out, bring his shoulder towards my chest. I get the neck. Now, instead of pushing him this way, okay? Sometimes my opponent can put a hook on me. Like he can have this hook here, right, inside my leg. And if I try to push him this way, he's gonna start like pushing the hook, and maybe he's gonna start attacking my back here, which is bad for me. All right. If I don't pay attention to that when he have the hook, he's gonna attack my back if he's really good in jiu-jitsu, right? Or what can happen here when he got the underhook and sit up, I got the underhook, I got his neck, okay? he's gonna try to sweep me, right? And instead of waiting for my opponent to sweep, I'm gonna control my chest, right? I'm gonna control and have my hand, control his head, sorry. And I have my hand on my chest and on his chest. My hand will be between my chest and his chest. I keep my tiptoes on the mat, and now I go. I don't wait for him to sweep me. I push, and I go to the side like this. Okay, I put my weight on the floor, like I put my hips on the floor here. I still holding his neck right here. Okay, I can get the chin strap here. See, I control the chin strap here, and underhook his arm. When I underhook his arm, try to turtle face to me, Jonas. It's really hard for him to turn and face to me. Okay, what I do, I bridge here. And my goal is to hop over with my rib over his face. And as I go over, again, I open my hand and I land with my chest over my hand. So it's gonna look like this. Jonathan will be here trying to come back. I go like this. Okay, so I will bridge, open my hand and have my chest on top of my hand. Right? My hand is between my chest and his chest. Now I start going for the neck crank again and tap him out. Right? I go like this to choke him out while I have the underhook. Okay? So again. So I'm here, Jonathan's do underhook. I go step 1. Go. Step 1. Step 2. Clean with my elbow. Step 3. Put my chest over his shoulder. Step 4. Grab his neck. Okay, I can get the chin right here. Right? He's going to get the hook. And I'll jump with my side on the floor. Like this. Once I touch my back on the floor, my side on the floor actually, I don't go with my back on the floor, I go this way. I hop over. I bridge, I have the crown of my head on the floor. Okay, and I go and hop over with my rib, with my body over his head. Okay, having my hand on the floor. Turn around. Turn around. So it's gonna look like this. I'll be right here, right? This hand right here will staple his shoulder towards his side. It's hard for him to turn that way. Turn that way, Jones. Sit up. You see, I cannot let him turtle. Turtle, Jones. I cannot let him do this. Right? I keep my back on the floor trying to turtle. I have time right now to bridge, lift my hips, open my hand, and place my chest over my hand. Okay, now his arm is in the other side, which is great. No problem. Now I start choking. Okay? If his arm is on this side right here, it works the same as well. Okay, no problem. Right? So I just want to make sure you understand that you're gonna fall and then go back like this. And now you start twisting, having this part of your rib on his rib, okay, on this side of your body only, and then you torque his head. Okay? Again, during the fight, sometimes, especially when the opponent likes to play hooks guard, right? He goes right here, you go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, now finish. Okay? That's a great way for you to finish your opponent. One more time. There goes 0, go 1, 2, 1, 2. And now finish your opponent. So just get the drill of like hopping over his head with your rib. Okay? And as you have the chin strap, as you hop over, you open your hand so you land with your chest over your hand. Okay? Just so we can practice, if you're a white belt, if you've never done that yet, or if you're a blue belt and never done that yet, or a purple belt, and you've never done that yet, a great way for you to practice is here. So your part will be sideways, you grab, you land 1, 2, and you go back again. 1, chin strap, 2. Okay, and then keep pressing this and maybe 10 times, right? And then after that, you can go from here. You can start on the half guard, right? And then he goes inside, and then I get here. Even if it doesn't have the hook, okay, I can still doing that. I can still push myself to the side. He believes he can come up. Try to come up, Jones. And then immediately I turn. And notice that there's one detail here. Turn around here. When I fall here, when I hop over him and open my hand and have my chest on top of him, my right hand, my entire forearm will touch the floor. I don't go like this. I go here, okay? Now I can choke. Put pressure of my weight against him, and then squeeze my lat, okay? So practice over and over, right? It's a great way for you to attack your opponent and surprise your opponent with a really good guillotine. He's gonna try to underhook, you sit up. I go step 1, step 2, okay? Then I push myself straight forward to the side. Try to come up, John. That's when I go, okay? And then I don't go down and wait. I gotta bounce. I go 1 and then 2, okay? All right. So let's practice and let's work. All right, right now, it's the same principle, same concept from the last technique, but instead of coming back to the side control, I roll back and I'll mount on my opponent, okay? A lot of people, they have a hard time to mount, okay? If you can mount, if you cannot mount, rolling back, you can just go straight to side control. It's a great way for you to tap your opponent too. It's very simple as well. Mounting, it's great because if you lose the guillotine, you're already on top of your opponent. You mounted in a great position, right? And the side control, if you lose the position, you're gonna be in the side control, which is a position where your opponent can feel more comfortable to escape, right? So when you're here, he's gonna try to underhook. You go step 1, step 2, do exactly the same thing. Toes, tiptoes on the mat to push yourself sideways. Okay, and then you're here. You land to your side on the floor. Now, instead of hopping over here and go to the side control, okay, we're gonna roll back in the shoulder that's holding his head. So if my left hand is controlling his head, I'll roll backwards, okay, with my left shoulder on the floor. And when I roll, look, my leg needs to pass on this side of his face, my rib especially. Okay, so I go like this, right? So I go 1, 2. You see that I bring both legs together here? And as I'm coming up, I'm gonna open my legs, my knees apart. And then I mount on my opponent, okay? But pay attention to this detail here. Wait. Look, when I mount, again, my hand gonna do this. And I'll land with my chest on my hand, sorry. And of course, over his chest as well. So my hand will be between my chest and his chest. So I'm here, when I roll, look, I open my hand. So my hand is here. I let go of the chin strap. Now I melted on top of him. I lock my leg, walk with my hand forward, align my head on his neck with his neck, and then close. And squeeze with my lat. Doing the same thing that as we did before when you guys learn how to choke from mount. Okay, again. So I'm gonna underhook, grab his head. Okay, so as soon as he's coming, look, when he's coming here, I'm already grabbing like that. It's a great way for you to be really good on this, okay? Now I face him towards the outside, push, and then roll. 1, 2. Once I'm here, pressure, and finish my opponent. Okay? We're not like learning how to pass with pressure yet, okay? We're just like learning like from the half guard. And a lot of times, the knee shield, right, the Z guard. A lot of times when your opponent wants to attack you, 2 things he's gonna do. 1, he's gonna invert it. If he's flexible, invert it, he's gonna invert it. Like this, that's 1 thing. He's gonna attack your legs. 2, he's gonna sit up to underhook you, okay? Every time you sit up, you can attack the neck, okay? You can also grab like this, if that's another thing you're gonna learn. But for now, you're gonna go underhook, okay? And over, all right? So when I'm here, just to sit up, I underhook, grab his head, toes on the mat, fall to the side, roll, hand open, slide, my hand goes in the line of his head, and then I tap, okay? And then to practice this technique, you can go over and over. So you go 1, 2, 1. So pull him, use the pull, use the cups right here, like the hands, to pull yourself while you're rolling on top of him. Okay, right here. And you go back again. So you keep doing this a couple times. So you learn how to get on top of him. Look how I use my hands here. And as I go on top, when my leg is here, I open my hand so I can land on top of my hand. Okay, once I'm here, lock my leg, and then finish. Okay, it's a very powerful position. It's a great guillotine. Okay, let's keep moving forward on that. Okay, practice this technique, and we're gonna learn more. Okay, let's go. Start an issue. Right now, let's say he comes really close to me, and I couldn't find a space to get the underhook. So I'm gonna get the hook right under his arm. Okay, turn around. So Jonathan will sit up, and now he's really close, so I go here. And this hand goes on the neck again. So now my hand that goes under the arm, it goes under my hand, okay? So the hand that's attacking the neck will never be under. Okay, I'm never gonna control with the hand that's attacking the neck. So the hand that's under the arm will control the wrist, okay? And when I control, you can grab like your hand like close like this, fist, or you can open. But when you open, the thing is you can fight with your fingers, all right? You can go like this, you can go like that too, right? I really like to grab the wrist, okay? So as you sit up, I go with my right hand, control the wrist, my left hand, trap his neck, okay? I can grab as a chin strap as well. At the same time that I grab his chin, I'm having my grip here. I can do like that as well, okay? Now I'll push with my toes forward and I'll roll. Touching my left side on the floor, right here, like this. If he thinks that he's gonna sweep me, okay? If Jonathan skip, turn around, just face the camera. If Jonathan skip this arm close to my leg here, grabbing my hips or my thigh right here, it's so easy for me to just undo the grip of the chin strap, okay? And now I hold my triceps. And now I turn and grab my biceps. So first I grab my triceps, I twist, control using my hand over his lat. Okay, now I squeeze with my belly against his head. And now I shrug with my left arm, the arm that's on his neck. So I gotta shrug, I bring my shoulder towards my ear on the left side. So I go step 1, step 2, squeeze, step 3, now at step 4, I shrug. And then I force my opponent to tap. Okay, of course I do this at the same time. So I go 1, 2, and I keep moving towards him more and more. Some people teach like to trap the leg, but it's not all the time that you're gonna trap the leg of your opponent. Don't worry, like just stay here, okay? If your opponent tries to turtle, don't turn, just stay here. Stay with your left side on the floor. The same side is attacking the neck. The arm that you choke him is this one here, of course. Okay, the left one. And then you got here. So don't try to grab straight your biceps here, because if you do that, sometimes it's gonna get slippery and it's gonna push your elbow. So when you grab like your tricep, you turn your thumb down, your palm like up like this. Now when you turn, your grip is gonna be way stronger. Now you finish it, okay? And when you finish, you go step 1, step 2. Now when you squeeze your belly against him, and you gotta shrug your shoulder here. Okay, so especially this side here, that's on his neck, and then you hold, and then he's gonna tap. Okay? I can go for the guillotine also having head and arm, but I prefer to change for the anaconda choke. Okay, this is the anaconda choke. So from here, Jonathan will come close. I go step 1, and now I fall sideways. Step 2. Now if he's still there, I go step 3, and then 4. Okay, now I go with my belly against his head and shrug, and then tap him out. Okay, different angle. So you underhook, sit up. I go 1. Okay, I grab here. Okay, chin strap. Now 2, I fall sideways. Okay, if my opponent still controlling my legs when I fall, right here, control my legs, like with your legs, with your leg, yeah, like this. You can use your free leg to push and then break the grip, okay? Right now, you see that Jonathan is closing his arm down. When he's closing his arm down, it's really hard for me to set up the anaconda choke, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I will go with my inner thigh, my both legs, okay, both inner thigh, and I'll trap his triceps. So I'll trap his triceps here, like this, okay? And at the same time that I'm doing that, okay, I'm sideways, right? I'm grabbing the chin strap here. What I do, at the same time I'm bringing my leg, so I pass my hand up to this side. Because if I keep my hand here, if I trap right here, you see my hand is gonna be on this side. I have a great guillotine, but there's a high percentage of my opponent to turn and escape, right? So I like to go here. Okay, once I'm bringing my legs around this tricep, see my hand will be here under his armpits. Now I go to step 1, turn my hand down. Step 2, turn my hand up, grab his lat, squeeze, and then choke him out, okay? Squeeze and shrug, right? From here, go to the underhook. I go step 1, step 2, okay? I like to trap the arm anyways. Trap the arms, turn sideways, adjust your grip here. You see, I'm trapping his triceps and biceps, okay? I cannot trap the forearm because then he's gonna bring the elbow down and I'll not be able to control his arm. So I trap the triceps and biceps. Okay, right here, and now I turn my hand down, grab, control, squeeze, shrug, finish my opponent, okay? So you can use that to mount on him as well, just like we did before, but instead of going with the underhook, I go with the overhead and arm. So I go 1 and then 2. Like you can do that as well. Yeah, you can practice that as well. So you go 1 and then 2. Okay, and then from here you start choking, okay? But also you can go control the triceps. You see that I land sideways. Now I go step 1, step 2, and then I go and finish my opponent. It's a very powerful choke. It's incredible, it's great, especially when your opponent is trying to underhook your arm. It works really well. Sometimes I do this as a bait for my opponent. I'm here and I let him come. Then I grab it and I go 1, 2, turn, and now I got a really good choke. Okay, the pressure of the belly against his head is really important. Controlling the triceps is really important too, right? So pressure of the belly. First you control the triceps, grab. Once you do that, pressure of the belly, shrug, shrug and squeeze and keep moving. Squeeze your belly against the crown of his head. That will force your opponent to tap faster, okay? If you don't do that, if you just squeeze and you don't move your belly forward, it's gonna be really hard for him to tap, okay? Especially if you have a strong neck. Also, when you go for the technique here, okay? Don't be with your shoulders on the mat. So notice that I don't have both shoulders on the mat, okay? I'm sideways. I have only my left side, the side that I'm attacking the neck, sideways, all right? I'm like sideways here, all right? I'm not like here, all right? Sideways. Even if I go for a mount position here, I gotta be sideways, okay? I can go to mount here, all right? Or trap his triceps and biceps, turn sideways, adjust the grip, look, bring as deep as you can, turn your hand down, grab your triceps, not your biceps, turn, squeeze, and then shrug and finish your opponent, okay? Those are the details from this technique. This is the anaconda choke. Repeat, okay? Start slow, little by little. It's a very great way for you to tap your opponent from the top. It works really well, even against the high level. It's such a simple technique. It's amazing, so I hope you use this technique more often because it's a great opportunity for you to finish your opponent, all right? Let's practice that. Now we're gonna work with the chin strap guard pass. It's a great way for you to pass the guard when your opponent sit up and try to get the underhook and start attacking on you. It's a great way for you to counter attack the underhook of your opponent, okay? So every time that my opponent underhook my arm, okay, like this, turn around just right here. When he underhook my arm and I don't have space to underhook his arm, I can underhook his leg. When I underhook his leg, it's really hard for him to come up right now. Okay? And a lot of times people, they think only about the arm. They try to go for the underhook on the arm, and the opponent start like turning, keep turning towards me and start going to my back, and he start coming to your back. Okay? But if I underhook his leg here, go to my back, it's impossible for him to go to your back. So every time you're fighting and you're on top and your opponent underhook your arm like this, especially if you have a really good half guard, if you underhook his leg, there's no way he's gonna do anything on you. He cannot take your back. Maybe he's gonna go for the deep half. Go for the deep half. He's gonna go for the deep half. That's a different thing. Okay, but he still control his leg. You have a lot of attacks from this. But we're not gonna only control his leg and wait. Okay? In order to have a good control here, I will get the chin strap. And that's the focus right now of this first concept and the techniques that we're working is the chin strap. So when I get the chin strap, I got the underhook on his leg as well. But when I underhook his leg, when I underhook his leg, I'll post my hand on the floor. I don't post my hand here. I'm gonna post my hand a little bit farther. Okay, so let me go this way, you guys can see. So my hand is not gonna be in the line of his hips, because that way he can close his knee. So my hand is gonna be here, okay, with my neck really close to his thigh, okay, and I cannot be on top of his chin, because then he's gonna start using the frame and start turning the leg, especially if he's flexible. My neck is gonna be in the front of his thigh here, okay. And what I'm gonna do now, I will spread his knees apart. I'll spread his legs apart of each other, and that will be really hard for him. Okay, to play guard, and it's gonna be really hard for him to control me. So as he sit up, he's gonna sit up. I underhook his leg, get a chin strap. Now look, my hand goes right there on the floor. At the same time, I'm torquing his face here. Okay, I have my knees on the floor right now. Right? But what I'm gonna do, I'll do like a push-up position. I take my knees off the floor and I open his legs as much as I can, apart of each other. So here I have my neck and my shoulder in the front of his leg. In the other side, I have my hips, okay, in the front of his leg, right here. I cannot let his knee pop to the outside here as well, because then I will no longer control his leg, and more I push this leg out, more he closes his knee, so it's gonna be hard for me to control him. So I gotta be on top of his leg here, okay, and then I'll do this, okay, spreading his legs apart. Okay, try to move joints. Of course, I'm not doing the chin strap right now. I'm just showing you how I'm gonna open his legs. Let me do from this angle, turn around, just more. Okay, so from here, he's gonna sit up. I got the chin strap, and I go here. Okay, pinch my knees, so I'm here. Open his legs apart. Now, look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wipe my right leg out and over his leg. I go like this, okay? So I pinch my knees together, and then I go here. Really quick. Just my shin will pass here. Once my chin passes to the side, now I can easily put my thigh under his thigh. Like this. Now I pass his guard. Keep torquing his face, okay? I'm pushing his knees and his leg to this side. Actually, this leg to this side. Okay, his left leg towards his left. And I'm torquing his face to the other side. So what I'm doing with Jonathan's here is to move his head away from me, okay, and pushing his leg away from me. So I'm torquing. Doing that, your opponent has no guard, and no way he's gonna try to sweep you or do anything. So you block him. It's really hard for him to move as well, because it's really, really uncomfortable, okay? So I'm here, I'm on the half guard, knee shield. Jonathan is down, he's gonna sit up, chin strap, underhook his leg, close forward. Now I do the push-up position. I move to the side as much as I can. Now when I feel that I can step over, I step over. Look, I go just with my foot. 1. Now with my knee. 2. Pass his guard, keep torquing his leg, his face. With this hand inside, be careful, he can reverse triangle you here. Okay, be careful with that. As soon as you pass, you're gonna take this underhook here. Okay, so your hand was here, so you go here. Okay, And now you can easily move towards him and get the neck crank and finish him up. Okay? So you can finish him holding his chin, or open your hand between your chest and his chest and finish right here. Okay, as soon as you land on this side. All right, one more time. So I use this pass a lot. It works really well. 60% of the time, works every time. So he's gonna sit up, underhook the leg, chin strap, post, walk, walk. Now, don't do this. Don't try to step over because he can follow you. Follow me, just. Do a back roll, just. He's gonna do a back roll and he's gonna end up on top of you. If he's really athletic, okay? So make sure you keep your inner thighs around his thigh, and now I go like this. Don't, you see that I don't turn my hips, just my foot. I go 1 and 2. Now I take my hand here, under his leg, and then put it under his arm. And now I open my hand on his chest, against my chest as well. And then I go for the neck crank, or just finishing a good guard pass, okay? This is a technique that we're gonna learn also from the open guard. It works really well too. When I'm fighting, I can go 1 and then start passing his guard. Okay. Right now, since we're in the half guard, it works really well for here. Let's go 1, 2, open, move to the side. When you feel you're good, snap your leg out. 1 and then 2. If you, let's say, you can't get the underhook here, keep a strong underhook, Johnson. Right? Link your hands together. Here. Pass his hand on this side. Turn on here. Okay, and then you mount. And now you start choking him here. Okay, you can grab the head and arm or just the head. It's a great guillotine as well. Okay? Or after you mount, you underhook, and now you start working to finish him from the mount position with a nice guillotine, just like as you learned before. Okay, one more time. This angle here, Johnson. There you go. The underhook. 1, 2, move, pass. Okay? If I can't get the underhook, I link my hands together. Okay? You notice that I give you space and I open my hand and let me see if they can see the hand here. So I was here, okay, and then I go like this. Mount, and now finish here. Or I can get the underhook again, lock the legs, and then finish him right there. Okay? Just keep repeating. Pay attention that you gotta move to the side first before you pass the guard, because I want you to spread his knees apart as much as you can. Don't forget of your neck inside his thigh. Okay? Don't forget that your neck needs to be here. So when you sit up, just I underhook the leg, and then I get the chin strap. Push, look my neck here. Okay, my ear is really close to his knee. My kneecap is off the mat and I have the chin strap. Look how I grab here, okay? Torquing his face, and I'll be like in a plank position here. I move, he's gonna be fighting, right? Pushing me, and then I'll go, hook out, pass. I can be here, establish the side control. I can be with this hand inside as long as my head is low. Try to trap try to trap here, like the triangle. I can keep here, take my hand out, grab. He's gonna fight with my hand. Maybe he's gonna break this grip, break the grip, Jones. He's breaking the grip, wait. I'll be on the side control. I got what I want to, right? Which is the guard pass, right? Sometimes you work in the submission and you end up not submitting your opponent, but then you're gonna end up in a better position. And that's the goal of the submission. Either you tap your opponent. The first goal is, of course, to tap your opponent, finish the fight, right? You tap out your opponent. Or if you don't finish your opponent, make sure you end up in a better position than you were previously. Okay? This is really important. All right? Let's go to the next step.